Hey, so good to see you, VA. Really appreciate you taking the time this morning to catch up with me. It's been some time since we got a chance to work together, but I know we're crossing paths more, and I thought I'd bring you on to talk SaaS and AI and all that's going on. 10 years, right? Almost. I think you were the CEO of Ramco. That's where you and I met. We got to do a lot of
Yeah,
work together on global payroll and HCM. And I know now you've gone on, you work with many, many different types of companies, some that I work with as well, which I love. But yeah, man, what's going on out there? What's got you excited?
I think yeah, I think is kind of disrupting everybody, and that is changing a lot. And I'm fortunately at the forefront of helping companies make that change or make a sense of that change and build into their products what we call a conversational UI or a front door to everything. And pretty much everybody is jumping on the bandwagon. If you see Workday acquiring Sana Labs is a prime sign of, they know that if they don't do it, they'll be just a system of record, and that doesn't help much.
How does this all play out? Because everybody wants to be the front door, right? It's like I was just at Cornerstone this week. Same thing, right? They're aiming for that. Obviously, Jewel over at SAP, Workday with Sana. Everybody wants to be the front door. ServiceNow is making a good play there as well. But like, who's going to be? I mean, does that even matter? Like, who's going to be the front door, or does it matter to employees? I kind of largely think that employees don't care or users don't care, that they're just going to want to be able to engage with a system conversationally, and it's going to fundamentally do what they need. But what do you think about that? Like everybody's fighting
Well, I think
for
I
the front
think
door.
there is no single player poised right now to be the front door. It's a
Yeah,
distinct possibility that the front door may be Cloud Chat or OpenAI Chat or whatever else the organization may use, and they might be
yeah,
able to orchestrate the conversation, transactions, or the information that you're seeking from multiple sources and
hmm
bring them all together. I don't think somebody will be very thrilled if you're using a Workday, coming to through Workday and accessing something in
yeah,
SAP or some other place and so on and so forth. So I'm guessing that neutral vendors might be more welcome. But what the kind of the likes of Workday, etc., can do is at least take care of all the data that relates to HR, whether it is in their system of records or whether outside,
hmm
whether it's in the company's policy document or information at large, like how much people get paid in this industry in this city. That's something that you will call, companies like W2W
yeah,
and Aon Hewitt and all, and give you a report and benchmark and stuff like that. Now you get an answer to these things pretty much easily, and you
yeah,
can also say that give me whether it will be easy to hire in the city this kind of skill or not. Not something that you could do it earlier. So combination of data coming from outside, data within your company, and data inside your database, all which you can access by means of a normal English conversation. You don't have to navigate through screens and this, that, and so on and so forth. So that's
yeah,
the holy grail, and that's what I think Sana's acquisition does. And before that, they acquired Paradox for acquisition. That also is in the same direction. And SAP is jumped in the bandwagon very aggressively now.
yeah, yeah,
So I think it's going to be interesting time. And I'm personally leading the companies that I consult with. I consult with three companies in HR tech space. So one
yeah,
of them has gone fully conversational. They call it zero UI. And and I have the other two I'm working with. I just did a session with them on future of payroll because whatever problems you solve, you still don't solve the payroll variations problem. That stays.
yeah,
That doesn't go away. So Workday may do whatever, it still doesn't have an answer of they still need somebody in Malaysia or Thailand or something to get the payroll done for the client of theirs.
yeah,
So what they can do is they can make the interface very standard, and that's where their efforts on making the interface standards and certified partners and so on comes in. So I think we are heading to very conversational UI feature. And front door, I don't know. I think the market is
It won't
will.
matter. I don't think it will matter. I think you're right. I think conversational, if I actually think it's gonna be more of a UI of choice, right? If I do everything through Claude or I do everything through Siri or whatever, fill in the blank app that I love, I have to think that that's what most people are gonna do. They're gonna say, "Hey, go log into Workday and do this. Go log into Salesforce and do that." Right? They aren't gonna care.
They may not even have to say log into this. They may
Yeah.
ask a question,
Yeah.
which the which
The
the
use case.
orchestration
Yeah.
engine will automatically figure out this answer comes from Workday, this comes from Salesforce.
Yeah.
And if I ask a question, I'm going to do appraisal, performance review of my sales team. Can you fetch me data on the order booking and how's the pipeline and so on, and how are they doing versus target? On that data may come from Salesforce and may come
Mhm.
from financial systems, budget versus actual, and from
Yeah.
HR system. So the orchestration from four different sources is what this product will do. In fact, we have built this in Hono, this orchestration engine,
Yeah.
and now you can get answers from multiple places. How are my people paid compared to competition in the same industry? How's my sales team
Mhm.
paid?
Yeah.
So you get an answer to that as well. That these guys are paid in the top quartile, bottom this thing, and so.
Yep.
So you can have very complex questions, which would have taken multiple logins, multiple effort, and roll it together. Maybe intern spending a week or something in getting us. Now I think pretty much you can ask those questions. At least you can dare to ask. May not produce
Yeah.
very good result, but generally it does.
You're right. I think we are gonna see a point where we are at a headless, doesn't matter how they're going into the software, they're getting in there, whether it's saying, "Hey, I wanna take a day off," and it knows to go to Workday or wherever. But I do agree that with Workday and Zoho and the other ERPs kind of talking about the importance of themselves, I think Workday's calling it Rails, right? Enterprise Rails, needing to have the data and the governance and sort of the control point for all of this AI. I do think that makes them more valuable in the future in that way. But certainly a lot of threats to their land, to their land grab, I guess, as well from all of these new solutions. But what do you think are going to be the product types, not necessarily names of products, but product types and principles that are gonna still be standing 5 years from now, right? Who's gonna be the
I
winners?
have a lot of very difficult to say. I mean, definitely people who are AI native and not people who are strapping on AI, not putting lipstick on the pig. Everybody has
Mhm.
agents now. That
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily help. So being AI native would be necessary. AI native would mean that they have built the product bottom up with AI in mind in every fabric or everything that they do, and not a plugin on top.
yeah,
So AI native companies are, because the rest will be trying to protect the legacy. If you see SAP is not allowing outside agents to talk to it and so on. So everybody has to protect what they have. And the CI native companies are going to. So that's one thing that I see. Second thing I see is it is not necessary data may stay in a database. We may be accessing a lot of data which may be in PDFs and so on and so forth. And normally we don't tend to capture a lot of the data. We may make commitments to somebody in writing in the appointment letter that you will travel business class. And that's in the appointment letter. But the company may change the policy. Okay, senior VPs will not travel coach.
yeah,
And suddenly, there is a dichotomy between, what you promised to that person and so on. So I'm telling from my personal case. One of the companies I worked with, I had to remind the CEO, my letter says that, and says, okay,
yeah.
then he'll tell the travel, let's make an exception. So,
Yeah, something's gotta manage all that policy and detail, right?
so other
Governance.
is, being flexible. You can't take ages to have a new formula or a new rule or something.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, so I think you you might say AI native is a good way to describe it.
yeah,
And the code, nowadays we pretty much writing every bit of the code that we write is using cloud code. So we don't write manual code. So we are able to churn out things a lot more faster than we could ever.
yeah, yeah.
That's another chain that I see. But the speed at which things are unfolding, I really don't know
What's
what
that? The speed?
is
Yeah.
the speed at which things are unfolding. If you see learning, now learning has become automatic and real time. I
Yeah.
mean, if you are not answering a specific question right, it can offer you to train you on that concept right there and then, and build a specific use case or module to train you on that. So
Yeah.
that's I think cornerstones CSOD also been talking nowadays, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. When you talk about the sort of headless software thing, just kind of coming back to that, I mean, what all is that gonna take to bring that together? We would have to have sort of there has to be a lot of advancements for us to get to that state, right? Do you think we're a long way off from that, or do you think we're already kind of here
No, we
for
kind
some
of
solutions?
fail because the
Yeah.
company that I mentioned to you, we have pretty much done most of the transactions.
Yeah.
Just that you know we have to use it at scale to see whether it's performing well or not. And
Yeah.
what we are attempting is we are, at least for the internal employees, blocking them screen access.
Yep.
So they have
Yep.
no option but to chat with it all the time and do nothing
Yeah.
else. And that's the way we are forcing the testing of our software. And
Yep.
surprisingly, of all places, there's a huge demand in India to try out new things. Three of the clients have kind of forced us to that we want to use it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And in fact, one client prompted us to make it go faster. So there are clients wanting to use it. There are clients saying that not only fetch data from here, fetch data from my Excel sheets and PDFs and
Yeah.
other documents. So
Yeah.
what technology is enabling is that it's letting you orchestrate data from multiple sources. So as long as you have APIs and API is well documented, then we can have MCP servers take care of all the knowledge that comes, and also get
Yep.
them trained on accessing Excel PDFs and outside the company information. So this is working well right now. Whether it takes 1 year to mature or so, I really don't know, because the speed at
Yeah.
which every day a new model comes and much more intelligent than the previous one.
I know. I know. It's like it's like the shiny new toy. Every time you get a shiny new toy, another one shows up. It's like, "Oh, man."
Yeah, no,
Uh,
we can't keep pace with it. It's just. So what we have done is we have made the software LLM agnostic.
yep.
So you can pick and choose the LLM you want to use, or you can pick and choose a mix of LLMs,
Yeah.
because you don't want to waste expensive tokens of cloud. Answer problem very simple.
Right. Yeah.
So when to use
Absolutely.
cloud and when to use something lower end model is something. So I think there is a lot going on. Whether it scales, whether it does things that on a very large number of employees or something, I don't know. Or whether it consumes more token than it saves you money is also not known.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another thing that I think is a big conundrum right now in the market, right? Is that, the buy side is still largely made cases on SaaS, past models of seats and users. And we're moving to more of a mix now, a bit of a hybrid of a little bit of outcomes and a bit of SaaS, right? But I think we're going to get to more of those outcomes. But what are your thoughts on just the go to market element of what it's doing for pricing and the way we're going to contract?
Yeah, I think per seat should start fading away as time
Hmm.
goes by. And we should see a lot more on either transaction based or outcome based, either of the two. Wherever it's possible to define outcome, can be outcome based. Like recently, not connected to HR tech, but that will give you an idea. We have priced our software based on how much time we save of a construction engineer.
Mm,
So, so that gives you an idea of where the world is headed.
yeah.
The software can read engineering drawings, can make sense of it, can see the difference between two drawings and tell what has changed and so on and so forth.
Wow.
So those are the kind of things that are doing. So that's the reason software has become very, very intelligent. It can make phone calls. We showed to the client that it's able to make 50 plus phone calls simultaneously, have intelligent 50 simultaneous conversations,
Yeah.
basically checking with all the construction sites on the status of the manpower, status of progress, records the status report, uh, check on attendance data, various things, ask questions, get answers, that becomes your
Yeah.
status report. So when the client saw the demo, they said, yeah, this makes sense. Something similar we did for a background check company. They used to go to 14 different websites they were running in India, an offshore center with a few hundred people doing that. And then we said, our browser agent can pretty much do automatic. It can use the credit card where somebody needs payment, get past CAPTCHA. So they were stunned. And then we showed them parallel processing. We can process any number of candidates simultaneously.
Wow.
So, the speed at which things are changing is very, very fast,
Yeah.
and it's mind-boggling actually. So, for me, good thing is I'm at the front of it. I'm seeing it every day, or I'm helping build it every day.
I
So
love it.
that's
Are
a
you
fun part of
hands-on?
it.
Are you hands-on or are you
Uh,
advising? I know
no,
you're an
I'm
advisor.
not hands-on, but I get work done from people. So
Yeah.
some of the companies I consult with, those guys sit in Singapore. So
Yeah.
I sit with them and get the stuff done. My job is I understand what technology will do. So I orchestrate, okay, now make phone call, now send messages, show a person receiving a call, show a person making a call, record the conversations, create an Excel of all the invoices, log into Coupa,
Yeah.
pull invoices, put into an Excel, send it to boss for approval. No further improvement. Just do what the person is
Yeah.
doing.
I worry about that. You mentioned a word in there about how fast things are changing. That's always been a problem, I think, for HR, finance, all the back office has been very slow to change, right? There's a trust element, there's a cost element, there's a lot of human elements, but this is all coming so much faster now than ever. And companies have been very slow to change in the past. Like, how do we get this? How do we get people matured? I guess that's what I worry about. Are they going to adopt it fast enough? Will they trust it fast enough?
It's a difficult question, and I have no answers, easy answer to give to this. It's a it's a process. It will take its time, but ultimately it has to be driven from the top. You have to be a mad person.
Yeah.
You have to be driving it like Elon Musk is driving or Hanson Young is driving, and so on and so forth. So unless you're convinced at the top about it and drive it, and the speed at which the likes of Goldman Sachs have driven it, and
Yeah.
because they got convinced it is, yeah, and they got in the what is the fashionable term called forward deployed engineer now onto their offices
Yep. Yep.
to work with them. So I think, to me, it doesn't look like companies have a choice because wealth is getting concentrated
Yeah.
in very few companies. If you see, 5.5 trillion is Nvidia, Google is close to 5 trillion, 4.8 trillion, Apple is 4.4 trillion. So larger than two, three economies globally, single companies. So that's the kind of change taking place. So the companies who are not changing, not adapting, I think they will lose out a lot. And that's the reason you see the speed at which the SaaS companies have.
Yeah.
Salesforce was the first who said, we are headless. I don't know how much of headless they are, but they were the first one to make
Yeah.
major, major
We'll
announcements.
see. Yeah, yeah.
We'll see.
Well, we had someone this week say they fired their HR team because the HR team was creating problems.
That's bold.
Which
Yeah.
yeah, that was the Bolt Financial company. I think a fintech, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's not Bolt
Fintech,
the car
fintech. Yeah.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Bolt the car service. But yeah, I mean, I worry because I think that we haven't moved. A lot of this hasn't moved fast enough. I think back to think back to when you were at Ramco, VA. You guys had a touchless UI story more than 5 years ago. Well before the pandemic, right before the
10 years.
pandemic.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and that wasn't
No, no, no.
so that maybe people weren't really waking up to that so much, but when the pandemic came, all of a sudden it became incredibly relevant. And I'm sure you had better engagement then. So it's almost like we need these catalyst moments to compel HR and payroll and others, the back office, to change and make a move. And I'm hoping that we'll get a little bit more forward adoption because we have firms that aren't even on cloud yet, which is scary, right? I ran into another PeopleSoft user the other day, and I was like, "When are you going to go to the cloud?" And they didn't know. I mean, that seems really, really scary. In order for them to be able to they're not prepared, right, to be able to have the foundation needed to go and do these things. So, yeah, lots of work that needs to be done here. So we'll see. We'll
Let's
see.
see. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. Yeah. And some industries lend themselves to this kind of change. Some as long as you're very efficient at what's your core business, you should be fine.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, if your core business is construction, you're very efficient at it, and you have all the technology going for it. If you don't have a proper HR running, is fine.
Yeah.
You're-
Yeah. I know, right? Do you think we'll get enough cooperation, right? With all the, I mean, everybody's building things, right? Workday's building things, Salesforce, right? Oh, there's so many cool niche things. I know you work with a lot of up and coming startups, but like, are they all going to play nice? You know what I mean? I know there's a lot of MCP, connectivity and interoperability going on. And I feel like most are having to play nice with the chat GPTs and the Clodes, but are all softwares really gonna have to connect and play together? It seems like they are in order for this future world to really work well.
yeah, I think what they will let you do is they'll possibly let you get information, but they
Mhm.
won't let you do transactions.
Yeah.
That's what we are seeing with SAP.
Data
SAP is
exchange.
not even letting you see it. The Salesforce has said that we are open and we are visible on MCP, and you can access the data setting in Salesforce.
Yeah.
So my view is that companies who are more open will have a better chance, and companies who close down the doors may maybe maybe a trouble. But right now, I don't think any large companies shutting down their SAP. Not anytime
Yeah.
soon. So so that future is a little far. But yes, directionally speaking, what you say is right. MCP being making data easily available to others. That is the way to go. We can't hide behind walls.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just that whole connected enterprise, right? I mean, there's gonna be opportunity across the manufacturing line, the supply chain, the HR, whatever. What I love about that, you mentioned the orchestration part of this. As an HR practitioner, former practitioner myself, I love the fact that orchestration is going to chain together these practices that we've been doing, and fundamentally make it more of an experience where it flows and it's not so much of there's more handoffs by the automation, not so much me having to hand it off to another person. But there's going to be again so much trust and so much oversight needed in that. I just wonder if people will move. Um, how what will it take to get people there, right? Will I don't know. It's chicken or the egg. Is the trust? Is the tech got to come first or the trust? I'm not sure. I think
No,
it's
no,
maybe
I
both.
think that there's a lot of hype as well. So I think
Yeah.
the froth has to move. You need to really see how much coffee is in there. Uh, so that process will go on. Any new technology that happens, and I think there is too
Yeah.
much at stake. Everybody's IPO is coming. Everybody wants $1 trillion valuation. Everybody's making big claims, and so on.
Yeah.
So I think the dust will settle. And as in every industry, some people are pioneers, some people are laggards, some people observe. Let the pioneers succeed, and then we will follow, and stuff like that. And eventually, you have seen enough. Change happens only when your survival is at stake. Do
Yeah.
you think SaaS industry would have changed so fast in months? Uh, until
I know,
Claude one
right?
until Claude one day made some announcements, and then the entire industry seemed to vanish. My friends who had so much stocks of each of these companies didn't know what hit them.
Well, just along that lines, right? I mean, we see these headlines of companies removing people and laying off these big numbers. But do you see yet that the jobs, the change of jobs? I mean, I obviously in the past, right, with the internet, with cloud, with other things, you'll get this fear, right? We're going to lose jobs, but then it actually ends up creating jobs, different jobs. Do you see that already happening at all with AI yet in the back, sort of the back end of this being developed?
I don't see jobs getting created, but definitely there is a different kind of work. If I were to see myself, I no
Mhm.
longer engage a lawyer. I run my own company.
Yeah, yeah,
I I don't need anybody for my 1% payroll processing. I just told them that I want to give myself this much salary as per Singapore laws, prepare my pay slip, prepare my annual filing, IRA, everything. Then I sent to my accountant, is it done correctly? His answer was, what will we do?
yeah.
So
You're talking
I
about
think
your
in
own business. You're a one person. Yeah,
1% business. So in
yeah,
that
yeah,
sense, I think it's helping me a lot. I can do a lot more. I can
yeah,
handle many more clients than I could earlier. Uh, and there is so much to be done. In fact, every company that we see, I can see at least few hundred use cases to be
Yeah.
done by a few, minimum few hundred, maybe seven, 800,000 and so on and so forth. So there is a lot more. I think the short-term opportunity is very huge. And it's just that it will take a level of intellectual capability that not everybody can participate in the economy.
Yeah.
So because we need a level of skill and level of IQ to do this kind of work, which not everybody can. So maybe it's going to hurt administrative workers, clerical workers, or
Hmm.
people who are just aggregators of information, or junior analysts and stuff like that.
Yeah. Data
The
entry.
deal makers will always be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. One of the things I admire about you, VA, is you started your career in customer service and you worked
Yes.
your way up to be the president and CEO. But how do you protect that as an AI company, right? If you're running hot and fast, you're automating everything. How do you protect your customer experience in this hyper automated world?
I think the touch points should still have warmth of people, especially if you're on, say, B2B sales or you're dealing with not routine transactions, but transactions requiring. In fact, I was talking to one of the hotel industry people here in US, and I said, we can do an avatar based kiosk. The guy started laughing. He said, we have tried this in the past. People want to talk to human beings.
Yeah.
And and that is something, even if that gives much better answer, much quicker answer, but still they want to talk. So he said, no, no, not that one. Pick up another use case, not that one. So,
Yeah.
so I think, yeah, interactions should stay personal, should touch and feel is involved. And while AI may have knowledge, but emotions, uh, is something that you can relate
Yeah.
to. So I think there is a lot of work that can do, but that should be enabling for a person to be much more efficient. Like I earlier could do only 4 or 5 clients, now I can do 7, 8.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of efficiency that should bring into a setup. So I would see in case of HR context, HR should look at it. They have a chance to have coffee with people. They have a chance
Hmm.
to meet people. They have to understand their fears, motivations, desire, and so on. So you get a chance to be HR. You, you don't, you're not caught in release an appointment letter for that person, handle the exit of this person, all those kind of
Right.
transitions. You have a chance to truly empathize with people. That's supposed to be the role of HR, to be
Yep.
able to give a listening ear to people, and they have a chance to be that again.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. I hope, and what I'm trying to do is personally, and I asked that question for all the solopreneurs out there, not just myself, is I'm really just looking at it from the perspective of how do I become more efficient to provide more value to my customer? And to your point, if that means serving them more closely or maybe taking on more customers or whatever, that would be great. But I want to provide, hopefully provide more value and more time for me to spend with my customers, right? More personal time. So, yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. But VA, look, to round this out, man, I love talking to you, but I know you're busy. Tell me your thoughts on, look, 2030 is less than 5 years away now, right? 4.5 ish or whatever. Man, what are we going to be talking about in 5 years? What's the market going to look like? Do you think?
Well, market is going to be very different place. So I think if I were to talk in terms of stocks, there is going to be tremendous amount of wealth around chips and semiconductors, memory, and all the
Hmm.
equipment that goes into data centers or SpaceX and so on. Software will lose values, losing rapidly. It will keep losing more and more value because anybody can produce software. Software will produce itself.
Hmm.
The value would lie with people who produce metals because still, things need to happen in the physical world. And there's a lot that will happen on the physical AI side. That means the devices will become intelligent. The intelligence
Hmm.
will be at the device AI. And a huge amount of money and investment will go into human longevity. I think we will possibly have lifespans of 120 to 140, 150 years. coming
Nice.
forward. And you can see a lot of investment already coming in that area. So if you're betting on stocks, longevity stocks are one definite bet.
I love it.
And hardware stocks, semicon stocks are another bet on metal stock. So physical world, we are back to the physical world. What we ran away from physical world and saying this is commodity. Now that
Yep.
is the hot thing.
Everything
And
comes full circle, doesn't it?
lost full circle. So that's where I see in terms of what will people do. I'm not very sure on that. To me, it looks like there are layers and layers which will won't be required. Whether they'll be required for something else, I don't know.
Mm,
But
yeah,
definitely, there is a huge disruption happening to humanity going
agreed.
forward.
Agreed. Yeah, and I think emotional intelligence, to your point, is going to be very valuable as well in the future. Creativity, all of that, right? There's just so much fake and fluff now that being creative and being unique, I think, is going to be much more valued. So I love that.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
VA, this has been fantastic talking to you, man. We need to do this more often. Where would you like folks to connect with you? I've got your LinkedIn, but where else should we
Yeah,
should we get in
yeah.
touch?
LinkedIn is fine. I think LinkedIn is the
Okay,
best. Easier to find,
excellent.
easier to connect, and happy to connect with people. It's just that I'm kind of running out of my limit of people I can connect with. So every time I have to disconnect with some people to.
You need premium LinkedIn, I think. Let you have.
No,
It's
I
not
think
unlimited.
it's fine. I have 35,000 followers, and
Yes.
so I guess I must have been popular at some stage. Must have been popular at some stage of life.
Yes, sir.
For
No,
so
I
many.
appreciate you, and I would highly encourage folks to follow you and connect. You have great insights into this world, and I appreciate you. Appreciate your friendship and appreciate your knowledge. And thank you for coming and sharing with us.